Hi, my name is Macy and I'm a Year 7 student at Wonthaggi Secondary College.
And I'm Heidi. I'm a Year 9 at Wonthaggi Secondary College. And we're here today for Resource Smart Schools to talk to Anna and Taylor, who are both members of the Australian Youth Climate Coalition. Did I say right? Yes. If it's okay with you, we'd like to ask you some questions.
That sounds good.
Would you mind telling us a bit about yourselves?
You go first.
Yeah. So my name's Taylor and I'm a uni student and I'm currently living in Gippsland. I've been involved in sustainability. I'm really interested in the environment and I've been like that my whole life. But I only got involved in the AYCC last year when a branch got established in Sale, which is where I'm from. And I've really, really enjoyed it so far.
Yeah, my name's Anna. I am the same age as Taylor, and living in Gippsland. I got involved with the AYCC with the Latrobe Valley group, so in Traralgon, and just because I was pretty keen to help fight the climate crisis that's going on at the moment and lobbying governments to change some laws so the fossil fuel industry isn't so huge. And after the school strikes in September, we sort of decided that a Sale AYCC group was needed because there were so many young people in the Sale area and beyond that needed a group to express their concerns as well. And so I helped start that with Taylor, and here we are.
Sounds cool.
Can you tell us what the Australian Youth Climate Coalition is and the work that it does?
Okay, I'll do this one. So the Australian Youth Climate Coalition, its main aim is to use young people to help solve the climate crisis. And so basically they run a lot of campaigns such as Stop Adani and Ban Fracking in the NT, if you've heard of those. And they also do, they had a major part in helping run the school strikes as well, especially in rural areas. And so basically their main focus, goal, is to get young people on board and then talk to politicians and get the word out about, fossil fuels and the bad things that it's doing to the environment.
Yeah.
Cool. So what led you both to becoming involved in the Climate Council?
So I haven't really been involved politically in the climate change crisis. I was really looking at it from more of an ecological point of view. I study wildlife and conservation biology, so I was doing things like I was out planting trees and working with vulnerable species and things like that, which I think is really, really important. But I kind of came to realise that those were all short-term solutions, and in order for these species and our environment to really thrive and get back to how it should be, we really need to work on lobbying governments to make policies to make sure that fossil fuels are reduced and things like that. So that's why I became involved in activism.
Yeah, same for me. I became really aware of the awful things that huge companies using fossil fuels is doing to the environment and the impacts that's going to have on our future, irreversible impacts on ecosystems and also the quality of human life, particularly in some areas, with rising sea levels overtaking people's homes and islands. And so that really concerned me. So thought I should get involved and do something with a group because it just felt like we were more able to make a difference as opposed to just being by myself.
Yeah, definitely. So what have been some of the best experiences you have had with the Climate Council so far?
I think for me, I've just really enjoyed networking with other people. It's sometimes really easy to get down when you're thinking about this whole issue when you're by yourself. And when I joined AYCC Sale, there were so many other young people who were involved and who were really looking forward to discussing the issues and thinking about what we could do within our community. And also there were a lot of businesses and who supported us in Sale. There's people who are giving up their spaces for free for us to have meetings. And it just kind of reminded me the amount of support that we've got in our community and the amount of people that actually want change. So we've had some really, really cool projects that we've done in Sale. We've had a concert and we raised we raised over $1,000 for bushfires in that concert, but we had at the start of the year to kind of show people, hi, we're AYCC Sale. This is the issue. This is what we want to do within our community, and we wanted to get our community kind of response on that. And so many people showed up, and we had the best night, and we got a lot of support, and a lot of new people wanted to join our group. So that was something really cool that we were involved in.
Yeah, same for me, like organising the school strikes and then seeing such a huge turnout in like all places over Gippsland. Like there was one in Traralgon, Sale, Bairnsdale, and like even Greater Gippsland. And so that was just like so amazing to like help organise them, be a part of, and see such a huge support for the issue. And so things like that really like encourage you to keep going and like organising more events, keep getting the word out, so more people can get on board and support the cause.
Yeah, we've got something like that in Wonthaggi too.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Have you had some difficult experiences?
Yes, we have. One of the difficult experiences we both had was our group decided to have some meetings with some MPs in our area, and we spent a lot of time coming up with our ideas and the issues of our area so that we could, talk to them about our concerns. So a group of us went to 2 different MPs actually, and we came out of the meetings feeling quite deflated and a bit disheartened. We felt like they were treating us like kids, like 4-year-olds. They weren't taking our issue seriously, and it was quite hard coming out of that feeling like we'd put a lot of work into something and we really feel passionate about something, and they're not too serious about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that example. It's like the high points are like when you see so much support, and then the low points are when you go to talk to someone who can really make a difference and talk to the government and like help make legislation which is really going to like change the way the world operates or Australia operates, and them like not really listening and taking you seriously. That's hard to then like get back up from that, keep going.
Yeah, but you've just got to keep on keeping on. There's a lot of support growing, and we're only getting more support, and eventually that's just they're gonna come to terms with that, hopefully, and see that what people want. So we've just got to keep on going and keep having meetings with them, and hopefully they'll get the point soon.
Yeah, definitely. What keeps you fighting for the environment in the face of the opposition?
I think for me at the moment, I'm 100% sure of the science. It's not like 50 or 60 years ago when it was a big if. I'm 100% sure that this cause that I believe in is happening and is a real threat. So that really keeps me going.
Yeah, absolutely. And also the fact that like being part of the AYCC, we're part of a community, so like there's so many people behind us supporting us, and because of that, like we don't feel so alone. It's not like just our thoughts, it's like it's a huge group that like really is passionate about the cause, and to see the growing movement, that's obviously keeps us fighting because we don't really lose hope.
No. So what does the world you dream of inhabiting look like?
Okay. Sure. So we talked about this. I think in the short term, just like people realizing that this is a threat, and companies and fossil fuel industries like just understanding that what they're doing is harming the environment and other people, and then making movements to like lower their risk. But in the long term, like we dream of like just zero environmental impact occurring, and like living with green energy. And
I think for me, probably for you guys too, I don't want to feel anxious or helpless about my future. I want to feel like I know that everyone is doing their part and that I don't have to worry about it. So that would be the goal for me.
Yeah, definitely. What sort of lifestyle do you think people should be leading in order to take better care of the earth?
I think people really need to make sure that they're educating themselves. So educating themselves on the science and on the political side of it. I know you guys are probably not ready to vote yet, but for those kids in year 11 and 12 who are thinking about, who are probably going to vote for the first time, A lot of people normally vote with maybe what their parents want for the first time, or they're not really sure of the policies. So I think it's really important that if there's year 11s and 12s watching this, that you get out, you get the information, and you vote for who you think best represents you. It's really important that we realise how to use our vote.
Yeah, and also with the lifestyle thing, be like mindful and conscious of like what you're consuming, what you're doing with your, you know, what you're buying and how you like sort of live your life. But also I'd just say like get involved with like activism in everything you can, because I feel like with such a huge issue like climate change and global warming, it's not necessarily like everyone's individual personal choices. I mean, absolutely it is that, but there's also this huge, like 70% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions come from like the top biggest 100 top biggest companies in the world. And so I think it's really important for us to be getting out and lobbying against those kind of that kind of energy use.
Yeah, that's going
because
to make the difference.
That's really where like the bad stuff is
where
coming
we can
from.
make the change. If we get these big companies to realise the impacts and minimise impacts and put the pressure on them to do that, that's really important. And that's where activism comes into play.
Yeah, so I think we just say like be educated, stay political, and get out there and be an activist.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think the role of schools and students is in the fight for a better world?
I think for young students, it's really important that we're teaching that young people are out in the environment. There's a really strong correlation between people who, you know, spend a lot of time growing up in the environment and spend a lot of time outdoors to wanting to protect the environment. So for me, when I was younger, I spent a lot of time outdoors. My childhood was outdoors, and because of that, all my positive memories are with the environment, and that's why I want to protect it. So I think it's really important that we have all the young people, you know, out in the environment. You know, schools can be, you know, having classes outside, or you know, doing outdoor ed camps and teaching kids about the environment and, you know, all the amazing animals and biology in the environment. And I think that's really important for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think that if schools can get out, have some outdoor ed camps, as Taylor's already mentioned, do some tree planting, and things that are really engaging and fun that are outside, so then everyone can see how beautiful it is and how necessary it is to protect it.
There's also school summits.
Also, I would just
Or just say also, I'll do this one. There's lots of people that can come into your schools. You can ask your teachers to, you know, AYCC, our group, they do school summits. So they come into your schools and help educate kids about this sort of stuff.
And that's more on the political side of things. So like the injustices that are occurring due to climate change and how to stay educated on the topic. So it's more of a theoretical side of things, which is we think is also really important. To stay informed on.
But, you know, also schools can have green teams and things. Does your school have a green team?
Not that we know.
My primary school, last year they started the green team. And so we went to all these different places to see like how we could make our school more sustainable.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
so we had one of those at my high school as well. We made a green team and we did that sort of stuff. We had documentary lunchtime, so people come in and watch documentaries about the environment. We had a big assembly about, you know, all the different things that our school does, like how we can reduce rubbish and this sort of stuff, and, you know, use Tupperware containers instead of plastic wrap and things like that. So green teams are really good as well, and a good way for, if you can't join an AYCC group, it's really cool if you go to your school, start a green team, then you have that, you know, supportive group at school that you can be a part of.
And take action internally within your school, like just implementing anything you can is really, really cool.
Yeah, we used to have like Thursdays, you have to like recess for the green team, you'd always have to go out and pick up all the rubbish.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what we want.
Okay. What do you say to young people who feel powerless when they're up against so much opposition about caring for the environment?
I'd say like source community, and I know we keep saying it, but like join a group, like get your friends concerned so that you can talk about it with each other, and sort of like taking such a minor action can just make you feel better
It's
inside.
really easy to get disheartened at the moment, especially now. We're all isolated because of the coronavirus, and it's harder for us to get into groups and stuff like that. And, you know, climate change might have been put on the back pedal for a minute while we focus on coronavirus. So yeah, it's really, really important that we just, you know, keep on keeping on. We know that there's a lot of people that really are worried about this issue and believe in it. You see the amount of people doing strikes in Melbourne and things like that across the country, doing strikes across the world. So it's really important that we realise that it's not just us that are feeling this way. Try and get to a group, you know, start a group at schools, go to AYCC or go to any student-led, you know, or any organisation about
there's
climate.
so many organisations out there. It doesn't have to be AYCC.
Although we'd love to have you. But yeah, it's for me, it really helped ease my anxiety when I became a part of a group, and I realised how much we could actually do within our community as a part of a group.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just important to do like what you feel you can do at the time, and then if you feeling like it's a bit too much for like a minute, then you can step back and other people will take your place, and then you can join in again when you're ready. And so it doesn't have to be so full on as like what you may think.
Yeah. Who should join the Youth Climate Council, and how do you go about it? Do you have to be a certain age?
So Australian Youth Climate Coalition is for people 30 and under. So there are numerous organisations across Gippsland. We're still hoping to start some up, so it'd be amazing if people within these communities that don't have one can step up and contact AYCC. We have a Facebook page and things like that, and start one up within your community. That would be amazing. Do you want to add some more?
Yeah, no, I think exactly what Taylor's just said. There are, like, during the coronavirus, there's not so many events going on regionally and like locally, but before, like pre-COVID, we had like meetings every 2 weeks where you could just turn up, and we were always welcoming new members, and it was always really good to see new people there. But like during these kind of times, just staying up, like if you like the Facebook pages, I think that's a really good way to get in contact.
Yeah, that's right.
Otherwise, like for your school in particular, like just send me an email and I'd be really happy to, or Taylor an email.
Yeah.
I'd be really happy to put you onto anything.
Another thing would be, if you feel like you're not in a place where you can get to a meeting, don't count yourself out, because every second of our meetings are meetings via Zoom. So
we do online stuff.
Yeah, we do a lot of online stuff. So just because you can't get to a meeting doesn't mean that you can't be a part of it and putting your ideas into the group. So we also have nationwide calls. We have nationwide calls about things like bushfires and coronavirus and combating that kind of thing. So there's always something you can do, even if you can't make it to meetings. But if you probably don't have Facebook, you're probably a bit young. So, you know, we've got our AYCC email, and we'll put it on this page, and send us an email, and we'd love to help get some more organisations or branches up around Gippsland and up around Australia.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do. What do you think of Greta Thunberg?
Do you want to go?
I think Greta's pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that she's got amazing confidence for, you know, calling out our political leaders on a global scale. And I have the feeling that she doesn't want to be in the position that she's in, but she feels like she has to because no one else is acting. And it can show like what one person can do, but also all the people that are following her and supporting her. There's so many people that are, you know, interested in this cause and that are really passionate about it. And she's started something that we are not going to stop now, and she's amazing. But so is everyone that's supporting her. Yeah. So I think she's pretty damn cool, and she started something that really, really needed to happen, and brought it to our attention, and brought it to, you know, to media and things like that, which is the attention that they need. And yes. Yeah, absolutely. She's so
cool. Second everything Taylor said. She's really cool, and she started such a movement that's like spread globally, and just seconding like her confidence to be able to speak at like the United Nations. Like, we get nervous speaking to our local member of parliament. I can't imagine the kind of guts it takes to speak to such like powerful people, but she does it, and on behalf of everyone who's fighting also for the fight. I know, it's really cool.
Yeah.
What are the top 3 things that young people can do to make a positive difference to our planet?
I think number one is stay informed. So, stay informed on the science and the politics and know your stuff so that, you're always, you always know about the issue and you know what you want and you know what, like I said, you know who you want to vote for and you know who you want to support and things like that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like staying informed on like the exact facts and figures. Like you don't need to know, I don't think you need to know like exactly how many centimeters the earth is. I mean, the sea is rising every like year. It's about, staying informed on what you like, get educated on the policies that the government's putting forward.
Specifically around your area too and what's happening
what's happening locally and like just continue to be educated so you can understand like what you believe in yourself.
And the second would be use your voice. You can through these groups or through Big Greta, use your voice in AYCC groups. Tell your friends about it. Talk to your parents. School. Particularly
if you can't vote yet, then go and lobby other people who are voting because like just express how concerned you are with the future.
It's your future and it's our future, you know what I mean? So it's really important that we make the adults and everyone who's voting at the moment see that and what we want for our future and what's going to happen if we don't do anything. It's us that they have to worry about because they won't be here and it's going to be we're going to be left with this world and our children whatever. So use your voice. And just don't get discouraged for the last one. Just keep on moving on. Like
do what you can when you can. And, don't give up just because it's not moving particularly quickly at the moment.
It's really easy to get disheartened, but we know what we want and we know it's going to have to happen. So just keep fighting and we'll get there.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing your time with us today, chatting as part of Resource Smart Schools. It has been great and we definitely learn a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
thank you for having us.
You were great.
Thank you.